Good Thursday morning. If I said Thursday yesterday, I'm sorry, but today is Thursday. So, today we're on Psalm 24. Psalm 24 is the King of Glory. So let's hop right into it. Verse 1. The earth and everything in it, the world and its inhabitants, belong to the Lord. For he laid its foundation on the seas and established it on the rivers. Who may ascend the mountain of the Lord? Who may stand in his holy place? The one who has clean hands and a pure heart, who has not appealed to what is false, and who has not sworn deceitfully. He will receive blessing from the Lord and righteousness from the God of his salvation. Such is the generation of those who inquire of him, who seek the face of God of Jacob. Lift up your heads, you gates. Rise up, ancient doors. Then the King of Glory will come in. Who is this King of Glory? The Lord, strong and mighty. The Lord, mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, you gates. Rise up, ancient doors. Then the King of Glory will come in. Who is he, this King of Glory? The Lord of armies. He is the King of Glory. Now, if you're familiar with anything of how the old world worked, is that you have a bunch of different civilizations, and over those civilizations you have kings. And what would happen is you have a king who would invade another land, and as soon as they subdued that land, now the king, everyone who used to be there will now worship that king. But the kind of king God is a little different. So in the Old Testament you have Adam and Eve, and you have them giving in to sin and eating of the apple of the knowledge of good and evil. And it says that everything in the earth belongs to the Lord. Now, if God worked anything like the examples I just gave you, he would have sent all of heaven down to earth, and he would have had this big war and just kind of remade everyone into servants. But no, God works a little differently. The reason why is because Adam and Eve, they had to have been given a choice of, will you let me be your Lord, or will you not let me be your Lord? To eat the apple is the choice of, I want to be in control of my own life. The choice of not eating the apple is, Lord, I want you to be in control of my life. And that same dynamic plays out even to today. Because Jesus coming down as a man and dying on the cross, that was God invading earth. That was God going all out in warfare. But it's a lot different because this war that Jesus carried out wasn't a war of hate, it was a war of love. It was a war of, I need to show you just how much I love you. What happened is Adam and Eve, because they rebelled, everyone else after Adam and Eve was pretty much kind of already set up from the get-go to rebel against God too. Well, what Jesus did was, when he died on the cross, he paid the price for everyone's mistakes. And because of that, everyone is now given another chance to say, Lord, I want you to be a Lord of my life. There's no, as I've kind of talked about before, there's no restriction on this request of, I want to give everything up and pass it over to you, Lord. And when we talk about here, it says, the one who has clean hands and a pure heart, who has not appealed to what is false, and who has not sworn deceitfully. And go down a little further, it says, who is he, the King of Glory, and the Lord of armies? He is the King of Glory. So in my life, Jesus is capital K, King over my life. I willingly let him guide my life. I willingly let him have my life, and I willingly let him continue to guide my steps one step at a time. But that this is not something that can be forced on a person. This is something that every person has the choice to say, I don't want anything to do with you, Jesus. The same way that I have the choice to say, I want you to be Lord over my life, the same choice is also there of, I don't want you to be involved in anything I do, Jesus. There's two choices there. And there's no middle ground with God. There's no, I want to give you 10% of my life and I keep the other 90%. This is a all or nothing kind of a deal here. And once again, that God as king, he doesn't work in the fashion of conquering the land and then forcibly making everyone serve him, but that this is a God of love who enabled everyone to have a choice again that isn't dependent on your parents. And this is why in the Bible you see that you can have one generation who loves God and then the next generation who just absolutely hates God. It's dependent on the choice of every single person. And the cool thing is that to have Jesus as king of your life, it says that he's mighty in battle, strong and mighty. He's the king of glory, king of armies and everything. That this love that he has is what heals your broken heart. If you wanted to think of it like this, your heart is broken because all the ungodly things of this world attacked your heart. And now Jesus can't attack your heart to fix it. But if you think of it like this, Jesus' offensive attack is love, and that this love combats the attack of the ungodly things that have happened to your heart. And so to have Jesus as Lord of your life, to really give him 100% of everything, his love will continuously fight on your behalf for your heart to continuously heal your heart. And that your job is to just continually re-offer up your heart, re-offer up your heart, re-offer up your heart. And that this is just a process because once again, it's all about relationship. It's building trust. Because the tomb is empty, there's a guarantee that Jesus' love will come alive in you. Once again, when Jesus was crucified, he didn't stay in the grave. He rose from the grave and he's no longer bound by death. And that the Holy Spirit was sent out into the world, and because Jesus is not dead, all of these things I'm saying do have an assurance of, if Jesus did it for me, he'll do it for you. And it's not limited to how good of a person you are. It's not limited to any economical, social status. It's available to every single person right where they are. And if you're a Christian, there's more of it available. But it's all dependent on how far do you want to go with giving him everything? Giving him the fears, the worries, the anxiety, the guilt, the shame, the failures, the successes, the desires, the goals, the everything, your kids, your family, all of that. So with that, all I gotta say is that you will receive the blessing from the Lord, and you will receive the righteousness from God of his salvation. That's a promise. That's a promise. So with that, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you all on Friday.